and thanks a lot for speaking to me. Uh, let's start at the beginning. You were picked up for the 1990 tour to England as the
Yeah.
second wicket keeper.
Yeah.
What is your memories of that particular tour? Alan Knott called you as the most natural wicket keeper that he had seen at the time. What is your memories of that particular tour?
It was a wonderful memory. For just before that trip, there was a Ranji Trophy quarter final, I guess, and Team India were looking for a second keeper, and we were playing Delhi. I had just finished under 19 tour of India, and I was picked for Ranji Trophy, and we were playing against Delhi, and all the selectors came. Gundappa Vishwanath was there, Raj Singh Dungarpur was there, and Gigi Boy was there. There are a few selectors they wanted to come and watch me in the Ranji Trophy. So they came to watch me in the second inning. Anshuman Gaikwad was our captain. He told me that they want to see you batting, and I think we had to follow on against Delhi. So he promoted me at number three in the batting order and got 101 not out. And then I was picked for England's series, and I was very happy after that. And I did well in under 19 Indian team as well. So when we toured England in 19, I played all the side matches, all the county games, and did reasonably well. Probably, if I'm not mistaken, I was the second highest run getter. When you get all the the total aggregate every week who was there. So I was, I think, number five or number second, I can't remember. And I was waiting for my chance to come, but Kiran was established keeper. I knew that I'm not going to get that chance very easily. Uh, Probably the last test match I came very close to play for India, but somehow I couldn't get the chance. But it was a wonderful experience. I met Vishen Bedi was our coach. He was a very hardworking coach. He used to give me a lot of catching practice. He met me, Alan Knott. We had a lot of discussion with Alan Knott as well, and the past county cricketers as well. It was a different experience altogether, keeping in England in a different conditions altogether.
And then when you came back from the tour, obviously you were not picked again. And when India went to Australia the year later, they took Chandrakant Pandit as the coach. Then to South Africa, they took Vijay Yadav. Then to Sri Lanka, they took Vijay Yadav again. Were you getting frustrated by the fact that you were not getting picked?
Yes, I was. I did reasonably well in England. After coming from England, I played all the side games. I was doing well, but you know, there was an argument. Mr. Tamane was there as the chairman of the selection committee. There was argument that was talk going on in India that how can you have two wicket keepers from the same state, and that was the reason I was given that's the reason you have not been picked, and you're not keeping in Ranji Trophy. Kirin is keeping in Ranji Trophy, you're not keeping. How can you get picked for India? So there were some nitty-gritty problems, but as the time progressed, I started keeping in. We and Kiran shared one inning each in Ranji Trophy. I did well in Ranji Trophy whenever limited opportunity I got as a keeper. As a batsman, I was doing well. So I was very disappointed when I was dropped in 1992. In Australia series and for the World Cup after doing so well. I almost gave it up, to play cricket because I got about in that season I got 400s in a row in a Ranji Trophy. Then my coach DK Gaikwad, gave me a pep talk. I spoke to Anshuman Gaikwad. I was playing for Chandresh Mofatlal. Sandeep Patil helped me a lot during that time. He explained that you have age in your side. DK Gaikwad says that you have age on your side. Keep performing, keep doing. You'll get an opportunity. And then I still persisted because the time was going. It was almost 3 years since I made my debut as a second keeper for India. It was really frustrating because you're keeping all the time, doing well, and still you're not getting a chance to play for India. Or even if you're going abroad, they were not giving me the chance as a second keeper. So it was frustrating because I had a time bound. I wanted to achieve that everything in a time bound because the cricketer's life and a career is a very short. If you lose that opportunity, if the time goes, it's always difficult for especially in India to come back. So I thought that my time has gone, but luckily I got break in '93.
How was your relation with Kiran More? Because both of you were from the same state, both were wicket keepers. He was India's wicket keeper, and you were almost challenging for his place in the Indian team.
See, everybody has to go through that phase. He was downhill in his career. He was passing his best of his ability. I was waiting for my chance. As for relation is concerned, there was absolutely no problem. He helped me a lot. I learned a lot of cricketing skill, keeping skill from him. I used to talk to him. He taught me a lot of things. We used to practice together. But yes, there was a professional relationship. There is no doubt about it. But I was waiting for my chance, and when I got a chance, I took it with both the hands.
When you finally replaced him in '94, uh, did you have a chat with him about the fact that you have replaced him finally and that you have taken over from him?
Uh, Not exactly chat, but yes, we used to practice together. I used to ask him. He used to help me out. He used to guide me. He was a very helpful guy, very gem of a person. I had absolutely no problems at all till today. So everybody has to go through it. He knew it that you if you perform, you get a chance. And I used to take all his experience from him.
And when you finally played for India in '94, when did you realize that you've become India's #1 wicketkeeper?
It was not easy to enter Kiran More's shoes because the expectations were very high. He was one of the after Kirmani, after Kiran was one of the best keeper India has produced, and he was playing for a long time and was established. So I had to fulfill the big shoes. So I when I kept first time in Lucknow, I was really very nervous to keep to the legend Kapil Dev was there that time, Kumble was there that time. So it was not easy, but yeah, slowly, when I started playing all the games, test matches and one days on a regular basis, yes, then probably I thought that I become #1 keeper for India, and I was consistently doing well. That made me happy because I was always on the toes. And when they started keep picking only one keeper in the test side or in the tour, because that gave me a lot of confidence that the selectors and the team management has a confidence in me. So that is the reason they're not taking any keep one second keeper, and they're keeping a full faith on me, and I had to justify that selection.
In your very fourth test match, you were opening the batting. And that sort of throughout your career became like a in thing because whenever there's a problem, Nayan Mongia is coming out to bat, especially on overseas tour. What did you feel about the fact that whenever there's a problem, they would throw you to open the batting?
Yeah, anything to to support the team to country. There's no doubt about it. But it's a specialized job. You're not playing a new ball. It's like a keeper. It's a specialized job. You have to keep on a regular basis. Openers also have to bat on a regular basis with the new ball. And I used to bat at number three, or I used to open sometime in my Baroda state. So I had a rough idea. In the school period, I also opened on batted number three. So I had some rough idea with the new ball. My technique was good, so probably they must have seen something in my technique or in me that this guy can open batting. At least he can make sure that the new ball is make old and becomes easy for middle order or later middle order to score runs. And whenever I did well as an opener, and I was very happy to do it, and I did reasonably well.
That 150 against Australia, how big a moment was that for you as that too as an opener?
See that that made a lot of difference because I was told in advance that I'm going to bat at #1 position. A few weeks back, there was a selection happened, and I was told that you're going to open. So I was mentally and physically prepared. I did a lot of batting practice with the new ball, and that shows in the performance. So when you keep batting with the new ball, if you've been told well in advance, makes a lot of difference. Your mindset is different. You're preparing in a different conditions altogether, so that really helps to any cricketer if you've been told in advance. But sometimes it doesn't happen. Suddenly they say that you have to open. In one days it has happened quite a few times. As a pinch hitter in test match it has happened. When we told in South Africa, I was told that you're not going to open. But after one test match again, they told me that you have to open it, and I got 50. I got injured. I had to miss the third test match. So these things happen because again, when you're keeping only one keeper in a team, and if injury happens, that becomes more difficult for a keeper and for the team to adjust.
That Kanpur one dayer, how disappointed are you with how things turned out? Do you still think about it sometimes?
No, not really, because it was genuine. I don't think at all.
And what really happened that day? Can you recollect for our viewers and listeners?
Probably that's in history that I don't want to repeat again. That's a past. Everything has been said, and I've been saying probably 100 times. It is all in black and white, so I have nothing else to say.
You spoke about the fact that you had to even do pinch hitting role as a batsman sometimes. That happened in '98 when you they started using you as a pinch hitter. Here you are in test matches. They were asking you to see off the new ball, and then in '98 they were asking you to hit the new ball out of the park. Were you like two different roles for you at that particular time? How
Yeah,
did you
it
adjust
was.
for that?
Yeah, it was totally different. I have seen quite a few openers in the world doing that job, especially the Kalu Vitarna. It started from Kalu Vitarna as a keeper. He was used as a pinch hitter to make best use of his first 15 overs with Jaisuri and Sri Lanka. So probably in Sharjah they suddenly, after keeping was absolutely exhausted because it's hot weather, and they suddenly said that you have to go at bat number three and make sure that you use best of 15 overs, and suddenly it clicked and it worked for team, it worked for me, and it gives a lot of support to the Sachin and the team and give me good balance. Once you get a good start chasing 275, 250 was a big total that time. So we could manage it very comfortably and we could win that series.
'96 World Cup. How big a disappointment was it losing the semi-final, and you had the team to win the tournament
Oh,
at that point of time.
yeah, absolutely. I think we had one of the best team in the World Cup, 96, and playing at home was a huge advantage. We were doing well, and everything was in advantage for India. But somehow we made a biggest mistake, in playing to Sri Lanka's hand. Winning the toss, and we just wanted to field. Probably would have batted, would have been a different story. And I think one of the big disappointment in my career was, in '96 World Cup we lost to Sri Lanka. It would have been a different story altogether had we won. Probably we would have had a very good chance to win in Pakistan against Australia that time.
At that time, the Indian team had done well at home consistently. So, were you guys confident going into that World Cup in '96?
Oh, absolutely. Playing in your own backyard, playing in India, the crowd behind you, team was confident. We had some great team, great all-rounders, great captain, great batsmen, great bowlers. But somehow, one mistake against Sri Lanka, and probably we won the toss. Probably had he lost the toss, probably would have said we won the toss and we made a bad decision and we batted badly, and the team takes the onus. There's no doubt about it.
Then in '98, India had a very good run in one-day cricket. You won 3, 4 tournaments, and in that phase, man, what we observed was, especially in '98, India had a very good team. Why were we not able to win test matches abroad? Because we even lost to Zimbabwe. We had a chance in New Zealand. We couldn't convert it. When you look back, why do you think India was not able to win test matches in that particular phase abroad?
I think the self belief, which we need to have, that self belief or a confident of doing well overseas. We didn't have enough 8 tours. The players were not prepared. We didn't have enough time. Uh, Probably we didn't put runs on the board, or probably we didn't have that kind of attitude. You can say that, or it was a combined thing. Probably we couldn't put the runs on the board. Had we put runs on the board 400, 450, probably the game would have been a totally different. In a test match, you need a bowlers who can pick 20 wickets. You need to put runs on the board. Somehow we couldn't do that in that era. Probably that could be one of the reasons, because everybody was asking, everybody was very keen to do well, and everybody was trying hard, but somehow couldn't happen it in that series or in that phase.
Who was the quickest bowler that you kept to in that phase?
I think when Srinath played county and then he came back, the West Indies series, I very well remember standing him near almost 30 yards. And he was the quickest I have kept. He was just outstanding after the county series. He played in England and came back and played for India. It was just a different bowler altogether, with his confidence, with his line and length, with his accuracy, with his speed. I think it was unbelievable how quick he was bowling. Sometimes I feel that our batsmen were lucky that he was not in opposition team. He was that quick.
The Pakistan series, that first test match at Chennai, do you still close your eyes when you see the highlights of that test match, especially when you play that shot?
Absolutely. I was running a temperature 102, and we almost lost the test match. And slowly and steadily, me and Sachin had a great partnership. We wanted to make sure that once the ball gets old, it is always going to be difficult to get runs. So probably that was planning to get maximum runs against the new ball, so it becomes easy for us to score runs later on. And that one bad shot probably costed us the test match. It would have been a historical test match. We fought so hard in that hot weather with the temperature of 102 with me and Sachin batting. We had such a great partnership. It was destiny not to win because everything went right for us in that series, and somehow we just couldn't finish that game after that. We still had 4 wickets in hand. We could have easily got 30, 40 runs, but somehow we just couldn't get it. We just crumbled under the pressure.
Do you think in that particular era we missed a lot of opportunities, like the Barbados Test match and this particular Test match? We missed a lot of opportunities to register Test wins.
Yes, it happens in anybody's cricketing career that you come close to win the test matches and you just couldn't finish that game. But you need a bit of luck. Once you cross that line, that self-belief, that confidence, when you do it next time, it keeps happening again and again. So the confidence level is high. But somehow, Barbados again, 120 runs to needed to win a test match would have been a historical game for us, but we just couldn't finish that game. Chennai against Pakistan, from nowhere, we would have won the test match. We lost it. Even in certain test match in South Africa, probably we would have won it. But we just couldn't finish that game. So we needed a bit of luck and a bit of confidence in our self-belief in ourselves to finish the game, which we were lacking, and we couldn't win that test matches abroad or in India in tight situation.
That 10-wicket haul of Kumble, you were part of history again, world record.
Yeah.
What do you remember most of that?
The first wicket. I think the way both the openers Saeed Anwar and Afridi were batting before the lunch probably thought that we would lose the test match in the way they were batting it. They were 110 or 120 for no loss, and I got an opportunity to take the catch of Shahid Afridi. It's still even I am doubtful whether he nicked it or not nicked it, but yes, that breakthrough gave a lot of relief for us. And after lunch, it was no looking back for Kumble and the team India. The way he bowled was superbly. That's history.
The 99 World Cup, again, India had a very good team.
Yeah.
But that game against Zimbabwe, when India almost won that match, again a missed opportunity, the 99 World Cup?
Yes, it was. It was a very crucial for us to win that test for that Zimbabwe one day. We would have carried that point forward. It would have been easy for us. But somehow we couldn't finish again. We had few wickets in hand. We couldn't, get that runs. Lower order couldn't finish the game, and we had to struggle later on. Yeah, we had a very good side, but it was always going to be difficult in England to win a World Cup compared to '96. We had a very well balanced side, but somehow, the weather, the conditions were not easy for a batsman to score runs.
Then after the 99 World Cup, there were a lot of changes, and you lost your place in the side. Newer wicket-keepers started coming into the squad. How frustrating was it to not be able to play for India in that particular phase after the World Cup?
When I got injured in '99 World Cup and I broke my hand, then it was difficult. I came back. There is no doubt about it. But yeah, for one days it was getting difficult because they wanted a balance in the side. Rahul started keeping well, and he was giving balance to the side. I played a lot of first class game, but somehow the breakthrough which I wanted or consistency which I wanted in one days or in test match I couldn't get it, and I just waited for my chance to come, but somehow it didn't came.
You were the number one wicketkeeper for India for 5 years in all formats. To go from there and not being considered, was it disappointing at some level?
Yes, it was. I was doing reasonably well. You know, I don't know why I was not picked. It's still a mystery. I tried my best. I tried to spoke to many people, but I couldn't get the answer. I did reasonably well in all the matches in the Ranji Trophy or in the side games. I kept playing, and they still, said that you're number one wicketkeeper in country, but I was not getting an opportunity.
You went twice, once to Australia as a replacement and then to Bangladesh as a replacement. So you were still in everybody's thinking, but you are not getting picked in the first time. That must have been frustrating as well.
Yes, it was, especially in Australia. I was called. We went Abu Dhabi, I guess, India A trip, and it came back. at night. I was staying in Bombay. I got a call at midnight that you have to fly to Australia tomorrow. But I had to wait for a few days because of the visa and my kids and everything. I flew there. I almost reached on the time, and I was told that you're playing a test match, first test match, but somehow I couldn't get a chance to play in test matches. And then it was 31st December it was coming. So I asked the management whether I can call my wife or not. If I'm going to stay for an entire trip in one day, then I would love to call my wife for 31st December. Then they had to take the decision, and then they said no, you're going back. But somehow some other came as a replacement in one day. Selectors wanted me. When I came back, they said we wanted you to stay there, but the team management didn't wanted me to stay there. That was a story what I could gather it, or I could heard it or read in the newspaper. It was disappointing, yes. And especially that trip, I would have stayed there, played, got an opportunity to play in one day.
So, and then you've played that final series against Australia, that
Yeah,
historic series.
yeah.
You played that historic test match in Calcutta as well, and the first test match in Bombay. Was that a surprise getting a recall for that particular series?
No, not really. I was expecting it because I was doing well in Ranji Trophy. I played 3-day games against Australia in Nagpur, I guess, if I'm not mistaken. I got 70 odd runs in that 3-day game. All the selectors came and watched me, and I was picked for that series. So I was very happy. I did reasonably well in that series till I broke my nose in the second test match, but I was declared fit, before the third test matches. But I didn't play that third test matches, which was very surprising.
What really happened that day? Because it's still a mystery. Is it still a mystery for you as well?
It is. I was told in the dressing room in the team meeting that you're playing. I was ready. When I was changing my clothes just before the toss, that time Saurav came that you're not playing in the 11, and that was really shocked me. And on the next day, I took somebody else tickets flight and came back to Bombay and to Baroda and played a Ranji Trophy against Tamil Nadu and got 80, and we won that Ranji Trophy.
All sorts of stories were doing the rounds at that time. I'm sure you must have also read about the color of the helmet and whatnot.
For that color of the helmet, again, let me make it very category say that I took the permission. My helmet has had gone to Pune for repairing, to change the visor or to repair the helmet. I had this helmet. I took the permission and wore it. It was just for a one test matches, and I was supposed to get the test helmet back again.
Were you disappointed with how it all ended? Because
It is, yeah.
it is disappointing, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. Anybody will get disappointed where you end your career. Everybody wants to end your career in a happy note. But after playing so well, after doing well for your country, giving everything, it's a professional life. I take it in the stride. But it would have been ended much better way it ended.
Are you bitter from the experience? Do you feel bitter after that experience?
Certain phases, yes. Certain phases, it is still better, but no regrets. I'm very happy that I played for country. I did my everything right. I did it from rock bottom of my heart, and I do it truly. So that's absolutely fine with me.
What is the high point of your career that you still think about and feel proud about yourself?
I think playing for India and doing well and whatever best of your ability with true heart, you have done everything. I think that's my best true high for my career.
When did you decide? When did you feel that my turn to play for India is over and I probably should give up? Was it when you decided to retire from Ranji Trophy cricket or much before that?
No, if the last series in Ranji Trophy, when I was not treated well itself in Baroda by some selectors, and what they were saying, I thought probably, and I was not getting an opportunity to play for India. There was, plus I had my family issues. My father was not keeping well. Last two or three Ranji trophies, my dad had to go to bypass surgery, and I was on the ground. There was nobody in the family. We are a small family. That time I said, there is no point playing because if I'm not going to play for India again, and I'm blocking somebody's road, and I'm not able to do justice to my cricketing career, I'm not able to focus everything. So there's no point playing continuing. And that time I gave my retirement, and I gave my retirement well in advance to play last game against play for Baroda, but I didn't get an opportunity that too also.
And you also became coach of Thailand, if I'm not mistaken. How was that
Yeah,
experience?
Yeah, that was by chance. I got an opportunity. I got a call that they would like to invite me for coaching. It's an ACC tournament was happening. It was a wonderful experience. How the expatriates are committed, how much they are focused. But the only problem is the infrastructure, the timing. If we used to practice early morning or late in the evening in the indoors, they don't have enough infrastructure. But there are a lot of enthused expatriates cricketers from India, Sri Lanka, and Pakistan, from all over the places. And when we participated in ACC tournament in Malaysia, it was a wonderful experience. How people are keen to play and improve the game.
Why haven't we seen you more in a coaching role so far after that?
Uh, I'm not a so-called coaching person. I would like to be a selector, and I can do a great job as a selector. I can do justice to becoming a selector. But coaching, it's not my cup of tea. That is what I think. I don't have that kind of a patience. I don't have that kind of a temperament. Yes, but I can see the player. I can foresight the player. I can judge the player whether he's lamba race ka ghoda or not. Whether he can be a player of a future. That much I can do it with my experience, with my cricketing ability. That kala of me is still there, and I can become a good selector.
Do you have high hopes from your son now in cricket?
Yes, he's been doing quite well with his age, but unfortunately he got injured this year. His shoulder came out from his socket, so the whole he has gone through an arthroscopy. He's just finished his rehab, and probably the whole year is wasted of his this season probably. But he did reasonably well in under 19 and under 23 last day he played. He's just 21. Probably, hopefully, that missing for entire year will give a lot of boost to him next year when he starts his playing career, because he has missed a lot, and it will become more competitive for him.
Do you still sometimes at home, whenever you feel like, loosen your vocal cords and say "Aiga" like you used to when you played for India for 5 years?
No, no, not really, but yeah, sometime when I'm in my business, I'm sitting there. A lot of cricket fans come there, enthusiasts come there. They would like to listen to that. Sometime I have to do that.
Whenever we used to watch on television, and if you're not in the room, if you say "Aiga" means a wicket has fallen.
Yeah, true. Yeah, I didn't know how it started. Playing in Bombay for my company, a lot of Maharashtrian friends are there. I stayed there for 10 years, and suddenly I picked up. I'm not sure how it started, when it started, but yeah, it was a wonderful thing.
Uh, Finally, how would you like to be remembered as a cricketer?
Uh, as a cricketer who gave everything for the team, for the country. And I would like to say that, recently the legend leg spinner Shane Warne declared the best 11 of India for all format, and he included my name in whichever players he has played from. And coming from Shane Warne, I think that gives a lot of respect to the keeper, that bowlers needs a good wicket keeper to give a lot of confidence to them. And when Anil Kumble and Harbhajan told the selectors and the team management that we would like to have Nayan Mongia as a keeper, because that gives a lot of confidence to him. So that is really beauty. That really cherishes everything for me. Whatever hard work which we have put, that bowlers need you as behind the stumps. That gives a lot of confidence to the bowlers. So again, Shane Warne recently, few days back, gave the best Indian 11, and which Nayan Mongia was included. So I was very happy for that.
Thanks a lot, Nayan, for this time. Thanks a lot.
Pleasure.